Okay. So other areas that I think proposed changes, adding teeth to FOIA, we hit on that this morning. Extending the notice requirements for special meetings. I know we've got some media folks here. 2 hours sometimes you've got to give 2 hours for a special or emergency meeting. I would assume that could cause some problems at times. If it's an emergency meeting, I guess I can see that, but a special meeting to discuss an issue that has no emergency and you only have to give 2 hours, that doesn't advance the cause of FOIA in my opinion. Requiring a response if no documents exist. In the case that we just had against the city of Fort Smith where Judge DeLay issued an order saying violation of FOIA, we asked for these documents and then a day or two before the hearing they produce all these documents. But they never said we don't have the documents. You know, they were trying to make a claim they didn't have the documents, which they did. But I think that it's only fair that if you file a FOIA request, if they don't have the documents, then tell me so. Then just say I don't have them. And you know, there's a Attorney General opinion that says just that. But again, as we learned this morning, the Attorney General opinions are only guidance, and they're not the law. The other requiring an exemption to be cited when you're redacting. In other words, if you're asking for an exemption from the law, then tell us why you're doing that. So those are some of the changes that, again, as we talked about this morning, being proactive and not defensive all the time on the people's law, because this is the people's law. I've heard Dr. Lewis say it 1,000 times. FOIA is the people's law. It was the crowning achievement of the Rockefeller administration. A Republican governor in the midst of all Democrats. He was able to get this through because, as I think we've all learned this morning, FOIA, sunshine, open government, it's not a Democrat or a Republican thing. It is a freedom thing. So, yes, sir.
Okay, I don't know if you took the question there as you go. You made a statement about sexual abuse on children.
Yeah.
You did that so quick that can you manifest the one person?
Yeah, and you can Google it. There's been many extraordinary press articles on it in Huntsville where children were, basketball players were permitted to sexually assault other players. And we have filed a FOIA, and recently we've got an admission that the district had at least 9 FOIA violations. We've also filed a Title IX action. So I think the point being here is the issues, and the other side would argue, well, Judge, we want that redacted. We don't want them talking about what occurred with, and we're not listing names or anything like that. We're just saying here's what happened. But the point being is you got to put this in context. The issues that they're secretly talking about are issues that are of utmost importance. A scale of 10 out of 10.
So how do you go around the school board?
I'm sorry?
The school board.
What's
How do you go around them?
How do we what?
How do you go around the school board?
How do you go around the school board? I mean, you're talking about how do you challenge the school board on that kind of information? Also, when you have to go through them to get some kind of information.
Yeah, you asked the administration, I want these records. And I want, for example, in the Huntsville case, I want the recording. Provide me the recording of the meeting. They can't do it.
Joy, may I respond?
Provide me the notice to the media. They can't do it.
May I respond to that?
And I know we've got to move on here.
Bill Ray Lewis, the law basically says custodian of records. That's who you go to. You don't have to go to the board. I would dare not send an FOI request to a board member. You go to the custodian of the records, which in that case for Huntsville would be the superintendent.
That's a great point and great answer. In the city of Fort Smith, we send it to the administrator. And look, you can call them up and just ask them. I mean, they work for us, we don't work for them. Let's always keep that in mind. Call them up and ask them, you know, I've got information I want to request. Who's your custodian of records? Well, then let me speak, if you don't know, then let me speak to the mayor and ask him. We vote him in, he should tell us that information. So just ask. I mean, it shouldn't be a guessing game. And if they're being transparent about it, they're gonna tell you that. That's a great question, so I appreciate you asking that. All right, so if there's no more questions, we're gonna move on to the next panel.